Hey everybody, it's Bill. I'm the Salty Old Marine. I think we're live. Happy New Year. So yeah, let's see what happens. We're going to watch this channel. I'm looking for chats. Anybody watching, feel free to jump in, ask your questions. If not, it'll be a short live stream. It is New Year's after all. So we're just sitting here quietly. Am I doing this right? I don't know. Happy New Year. My Kindle 893. Yes, absolutely. Happy New Year. Thanks very much for joining. Oh yeah, there's Fruit of Life. Fruit to Life. Fruit to Life. Happy New Year to you too. Thank you both for joining the live stream. You're first ones in. So sitting here in Southeast Michigan. I'm down here in my basement. It's 18 degrees out. I was out earlier running my snowplow. It's a little bit on the chilly side, and we got some snow. So yeah, had to get all that stuff done and had some lunch. And now here I am sitting here. It's 2 in the afternoon. Don't think it's going to get any warmer, but yeah, I thought I might just set up this live stream for New Year's Day. If anybody was just not doing anything and felt like joining in, yeah, there we go. So, okay, here we are. Sam's Amps 2447, Happy New Year's. Yeah, absolutely. Happy New Year's to you too. 2026 is going to be an interesting year, isn't it? You know, it was January of 2025 when I started this channel, and I had no idea how it was going to go, whether or not I would keep being able to make videos, whether or not they would be well received. I've been pleasantly surprised all the way across the board, so I'm looking forward to 2026, just hopefully being amazing. And, of course, anything I can do to help veterans is what I want to do. Let's see, we got some more chats. A little on the chilly side. Yeah, it is a little on the chilly side. You know, the first year we lived here, I neglected to turn off the pipes to the outside spigots, and they broke and flooded our basement, and that was a bad thing. So I am careful about how I do that from now on. Let's see what we got here. Happy New Year, comrades. Yes, Roy Strata 4764. Yes, absolutely. We are, in fact, all comrades, brothers and sisters in arms. Thank you for being here. You really knocked me out with your last video when you said we were seeking peace. I say that so often, and even to a nurse 2 weeks ago at the VA when she asked what I live for. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, after all of this, after everything we've been through from top to bottom, you know, maybe that's just what we're after. So, yeah, thank you. Hello, sir. Happy New Year to you and your family. U.S. Army Grunt. Well, Happy New Year to you, Mr. Army Grunt, from a Marine, a salty old Marine. Live in Minnesota. Anyone know of a good learning center? I do not in Minnesota, but if anybody else does, please feel free to speak up. So what's on your mind? What are we talking about today? I'm just sitting here waiting for the questions. Maybe it'll take a while for everything to get spun up. You know you're doing good when Raider HQ endorses you. Yeah, Jason. You know, I have been blown away by Raider HQ. I tell you the truth. I worry about him. I worry about him because you know, he's spilling the tea, right? He's a raider. He's actually inside. He's behind the curtain, and his information is top notch. I absolutely depend on the things he says, and if he corrects me, I accept that with grace because I don't know all the answers, but he's got a lot of them. And so I'm so happy that he likes this channel. He likes also some other channels like Salty Marine and some of the others. And I'm glad. Small creators doing our best to help veterans. We're kind of all in this together, so it's fantastic. But yeah, I'm grateful and thrilled that Raider HQ actually even recognizes a channel like this. What do we got here? So what do you do when a board makes a decision and you want to appeal that decision? Okay, so if you're talking about a BVA decision, at that point, the only thing above that is a CAVC appeal. And honestly, those are very, very difficult. They absolutely require an attorney. And usually they're talking about arguments over points of law rather than the claim itself. So if the BVA says no, to the best of my knowledge, you may have come to the end of the road on that particular claim. I hate to say that. Now, if somebody else has better information, I'd love to hear it because I don't know everything about BVAs, but that's my understanding at this point. Let's see. What was your MOS bill? I was 0231. So you were intelligence. I was 5811, military police. I was in military police company, headquarters battalion, 1st Marine Division at Camp Pendleton for most of my career. And that unit no longer exists. We were field MPs. We were part of the 1st MARDIV, so we went to the field. We went to 29 Palms and Australia and the Philippines and Okinawa. We were not actually the base MPs, the guys on the gates, although we also did that when we were in garrison, so we supplemented them when we were in garrison at Camp Pendleton. He was doing good, just don't mention fatty liver. Yeah, I've seen all the jokes on that. I try to join his live streams. Salty Old Marine, how can I contact you one-on-one? Well, my email address is visible through my profile on my YouTube channel, and you can send me an email that way. As far as like me doing consulting work and things like that, I don't. I have a day job. YouTube is the best I can do right now. Maybe that will change after I retire in a couple of years, but for now, I just do the best I can. I do my best to try and answer questions that I get via email. So if you send me an email and I can do anything to assist, I'll do it. But bear in mind, I'm not accredited with the VA. I'm not a raider. I'm not anything really. I'm just a veteran with an opinion. But if you want my opinion, I'll do my best to help. Let's see. Sent you an email. Okay, yeah, I'll take a look at it. Not live stream, of course, but I will take a look, I promise. Did you go to MP school at Fort McClellan? No, I did not. A lot of my fellow MPs did go to school there, but in fact, I was a retread. It was my second enlistment. My first enlistment had been at Camp Lejeune. I was a 3421 personal financial records clerk, and when I re-enlisted in January of 1981, I was assigned 5800 basic MP, and I went to in-service training school at Camp Pendleton at Provost Marshal's office. So that's how I got my 5811. I did not actually go to MP school. I do have an associate's degree in criminal justice, though, if that helps. Let's see. I am retired 0306 in 2002, lived in Vista, right outside of Camp Pendleton. Yep, happy Horno, absolutely. Yeah, I stood all those gates one time or another, so I know all the different units there and what you can expect. Spent a lot of time at Device Foxtrot and Device Echoes, Krishnidas Gate, and all those. So, yeah, I remember it all very well, like it was yesterday. But I got out in 1985, so, wow, going on 41 years ago now. I was a drill sergeant there from 85 to 87. Well, Army would make you a drill sergeant, right? I see. You were a drill sergeant at Fort McClellan. I got it. Yeah, that was interesting. The fellow MPs that I talked to who did go to Fort McClellan said how unusual it was, because when Marines get sent to an Army base like that for MOS training, for those who aren't aware, they're often put into units with Army soldiers going through the same training, but to them it's still, if I understand this correctly, it's still an extension of their boot camp, their basic training. So they still have drill sergeants, and the Marines who are attending the school are considered Marines, are no longer recruits. So they graduated from boot camp, and it's an unusual situation when an Army drill sergeant gives a Marine push-ups. I heard a lot of stories about that, but I wasn't there in person, so I can't say. How long is it taking folks to get VA medical record requests fulfilled? Secure message told me 20 business days, but I just got a letter that said it could be several months. Okay, so VA med record requests. Let's be clear about that, about how you are actually applying for those. I will say that when I wanted my VA medical records, I got them directly through the portal, right? I just downloaded my blue button health record. For my VA records for my claims, I put in a request originally for a C file, and that was a big mistake because it took 9 months. But when I put in requests specifically for compensation and pension exams only, the results came back in about 10 working days. But neither of those are health records per se. So I want to be clear on what we're asking for here. I'm not entirely sure what you mean. For all you jarheads, what is your favorite crayon flavor? Yeah, absolutely. I would guess green, right? The whole crayon thing came around after I got out, so that was news to me. But I embrace it. Sure, we are crayon eaters, absolutely. Not a soldier, but that seems to be the case. Yeah. Okay. I had several Marines in MP phase. Yep. Yeah, that's my understanding. That's how that worked. Fruit you requested from a VAMC. Yeah. Did you how did you go about requesting your records, and what kind of records are we talking about? Jason wants to know, why is C-file taking so long? I wish I knew. I absolutely wish I knew. When my final claim was adjudicated in I think September of 2025, and I got to 100% P&T, the very next thing I did was request a C file for everything, just for my records. I mean, my claims are closed. I don't need that anymore, but I put in the claim. And it's been set since September, and it's still sitting in step 2. And honestly, I don't expect to see any results for like up to a year, 9 months to a year. Why is it taking that long? I would love to know the answer to that, but I don't. I just know that that's currently how it seems to be going. Salty, just wondering if you or anyone else knows of any good veteran-focused financial YouTubers. Wow, that's a really, really good question. What kind of financial stuff are you talking about? Because honestly, I am planning on doing some stuff about finances in retirement for veterans later on this year. I've got some just kind of planned. I haven't filmed them yet, but that may be not what you're talking about. So let me know, and I can dig into it. We'll see if we can find some good resources there. Thanks for asking the question. I wish I knew a better answer. Yes, from VAMC, I sent a secure message and did the online form. Fruit to Life, do you have a VA portal account? Can you go into your health records and simply download them? That's how I got mine. So not sure there what you're trying to get, but let us know here in the chat. We'll all talk about it. All right. Anybody else? How's everybody doing today? You guys have a good New Year's last night? I'll tell you what, my wife and I sat on the couch and forced ourselves to stay awake until midnight, and then we said Happy New Year's, and we went to bed. The dogs and cats got my wife up at 20 after 4 this morning. I slept in. Bless my wife, she got up with them. Let's see, I think I may have asked for too much, checking all the boxes on my record request. Can I resubmit with only medical records? Blue Button only has care notes for this year, but diagnosis back to 2011. Yeah, you can make multiple requests. I know that for a fact. Now, if you check too many boxes, yeah, it can definitely take a long time. So I would say restrain yourself on that. But as far as how long it might take you to get those answers, I wish I knew. I don't know, unfortunately. I have multiple requests in right now for different things, for record requests, Privacy Act stuff. And I don't know how long they're all going to take. I will be reporting back on it. It was something Raider HQ was asking about recently in one of his videos. So I'm running an experiment, and I'm running a test myself. Hopefully we'll get some answers. Go to VA.gov, go to health.net, and download all your medical records. Yeah. If you live close to a VAMC, you can go there and get copies in minutes. Yes, and you can also do what they call a Vera request online, so you can actually set up the appointment so that when you go down to the VAMC or the VA regional office, they'll know that you're coming. Just watching the Orange Bowl, Texas Tech is getting destroyed. Well, I'm actually, you guys are going to find this really weird, but I actually don't watch television. I don't have a TV. I do have a TV. It's in my basement along with me, but it's covered in dust and it's got stuff all over it and it's got furniture piled up around it. I haven't watched television in going on 20 years now. I don't know why. I have nothing against television. It just doesn't interest me, which is weird given that we're doing YouTube, right? So figure that one out. Oh, hey, wow, look at that. Scott Roldan, $10. Buddy, thank you. You don't have to do that, by the way. I just want to let you guys know that's very kind, very kind. But nobody has to donate money or anything. Happy New Year. I appreciate all the effort you put forth into your content. The veteran community appreciates you as well. Thank you very much. You know, my goal here has, from day one, not to be, I don't know, famous or loved or anything like that. My goal has been very, very simple right from the beginning. I don't think veterans have access to the best information when filing for VA disability or health or trying to get health care, and it really bothers me. I went through a lot to learn how to navigate the system, and I just want to share that information with veterans. If I'm helping veterans, then that's all I need. That's why I'm doing this. I really don't have any other purpose for this, and I hope it's working. Thank you, though. I feel like I need a wait from my first VA visits after separations in 1995, but I only have them back to 2011 in my Healthy Vet records. Okay, so are you talking about getting your health care records from your active duty service? That's your service treatment records? If that is the case, you might try looking at NARA, N-A-R-A, National Archives. That's where you can request your medical records from your time on active duty, and that may be what you're looking for. So check that out, NARA, and do a records request. I want a financial reference to give folks. My retirement is set at this point, but I lack the communication skills to relay what folks may want to consider. Yeah, absolutely. You know, these videos that I make, I hope that they are useful to everybody, but I am open to suggestions. So by all means, you know, drop comments. My email, as I said, is in my profile. You can send me an email. And if it's something that I think veterans want to see, I will do my very best to do the research and figure it out, and we'll make a video about it. So, yeah, absolutely, I'm right there with you. The VA system is hard for sure. You know, it is. And this is the part that gets me upset. Everything you need is public-facing. You can go to va.gov, you can look up DBQs, you can look up the 38 CFR, you can look at the N21-1, the Rater's Guide. You can read notes and blogs and things like that the VA itself has provided on how to file a claim. But you know what? It's not enough. And it still depends on the veteran knowing where to look and what to read and what counts. It's like saying, well, all the information you want's in the public library. Oh, that's great. That helps me not very much at all. I guess I can find the library, but now what? It's filled with books. Come on, guys, give me a hint. That's what I'm talking about here. It's not that the information is hidden. It's that the information is obscure. And that's a problem from my point of view. I don't like that. So, yeah, that's why I make these videos. Let's see. For some reason, the records are not complete except for this year, and I am only wanting my VA medical records. Okay, so not NARA. I'm not sure what to tell you there. I would suggest at some point you give them a call and talk to them on the phone and say what you're after and see if there's something they can do to help you, because I honestly don't know at this point. I'm very sorry. I wish I could help more. My apologies. I'm trying to wet my whistle here with a little Diet Mountain Dew. All right. So what else is going on? What's on your mind? Did we lose everybody? Things got quiet all of a sudden. Is this thing even on? Can you guys hear me? I'm clicking around here. Can you have more than one secondary on a condition? Yes, absolutely you can. Most of my conditions are, in fact, secondaries. So originally I filed for tinnitus and hearing loss. Those were direct to service. Then I filed for PTSD. That was direct to service also. Sleep apnea, migraines, IBS, and GERD, all of those were secondary to PTSD, and that's what got me to 100%. So yes, you can submit multiple secondaries to the same primary. No problem there. Okay, you can hear me. Good. I'm glad to hear that. Any other retirees in the room? Yeah. Thanks for all your videos. They helped a lot. Happy New Year. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, you can hear me. Good, good, good. Okay, just checking, right? I've got a studio. I didn't intend to build a studio. Originally, we started this out on the kitchen table upstairs with a cell phone, and then we graduated to a single camera on a tripod in my basement in front of my stereo, and started adding lights and cameras and a switcher and a recorder and just all kinds of stuff, right? So now it's all wires everywhere, and I turned this guest room into a studio, and yeah, I didn't mean to do all this, but it's how it worked out. So I'm not even sure what all of it does. Any rumors when sleep apnea will be changed? Yeah, no, none whatsoever. Is it happening? Yeah, it's my understanding it's happening. And the last news I heard was it was going to be at the end of the year in 2025, but it didn't happen. So yeah, it will happen at some point, I believe. It's gone from a proposal to something that's actually going to occur, but when? Absolutely no clue. All I can say is don't camp on it, right? Get your intent to file in, and get your claim in as soon as you can to make sure that you get adjudicated under the old rules if you're trying to get sleep apnea. You're a big help. Thank you for putting yourself out there and getting information out. Yeah, thank you very much. You know, the thing that I worry about the absolute most is putting out bad scoop. I don't want to do that. I've made mistakes in my videos, and some people have called me out in the comments, and actually I'm quite grateful for that. When I make a mistake, don't let it lie. I mean, let me know. Tell me that I'm wrong. I'll do the research. I'll find out. I'll correct myself. I don't want to put out bad information. This is not about my ego. This is about making sure we get the best information out there for our fellow veterans. We're a community. We're trying to help each other. So if I'm wrong, correct me. If you have a different opinion, let me know. Maybe we won't agree, but I'll certainly listen. I'll certainly pay attention, because I don't want to pass bad information. Nice setup. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Sorry to hear about your truck window being broken. Well, that was back during the summer, and we got the window fixed. The insurance covered 2/3 of it, and it wasn't a real big deal. So it's interesting. It never happened again. We never found out who did it. Nobody got hurt. It just, you know, it was weird. Driving down the street and boom, no back window. So yeah, I guess it happens. I would be interested in knowing more about how to handle claims when the veteran lives overseas. Ah, yes. Okay, so I have almost no knowledge of how this is done, other than what I've read from other veterans online, so it's sketchy at best. It's my understanding that if a veteran lives overseas, they can file a claim just like any other veteran can. However, the problem comes when they need to get their C&P exam and when they need to get current diagnosis and things like that. And I have heard of veterans like flying from one country to another to get to the military base. I've heard of veterans who are able to do long-distance video hookups with a C&P examiner, but I guess that's not always allowed or permissible depending on the condition. So I don't have great answers on that. But I tell you what, I'll do some research on it, and yeah, why not do a video about it? Thanks very much for giving me that idea. And stay tuned. So there's a long tail on this kite. We have a lot of videos stacked up and ready, but that's a good one. So let's see if we can do one on that. Thanks for mentioning it. I'm interested in how my prescriptions will work now that I'm rated. Oh, okay, good. So, depending on what your percentage is, right? Once you are at 50% or higher, all your medical treatment is no copay. And that would include prescriptions. And in fact, I recently did that. So when I was still at 90%, I went down to the VA. I made an appointment with my primary care physician for the VA. I still get most of my treatment from private doctors out in the community, not through the VA, because I still have a job, still have insurance and so forth. But I'm looking at retirement in the next 2 years. And so I wanted to start getting things ready to go, right? So I made an appointment with the doctor, and I went down there, and I brought him a list of all my current medical conditions and my treatment, and I brought him copies of the tests that I had had done and my recent blood work, well, all of that, right? Also, all of my prescriptions. And he was very kind. He said, hey, would you like us to start sending you your prescriptions instead of you buying them out in town at CVS? And I said, yeah, absolutely. I take a lot of prescription things, cost a lot of money. My insurance covers a lot, but yeah, why not? I mean, sooner or later, I'm going to be transferring everything over to VA healthcare anyway. So yeah, he co-wrote my prescriptions. That's how that works, right? So he took my doctor's prescriptions from out in the community, he read them, and he co-wrote them, meaning he just basically wrote a new prescription, but he used the information from the doctor in the community. And they were then put into the system, and they now get, they get mailed to me. I get a big bag of pills once every, I think, 3 months or so. I mean, a big bag. Because I take a lot of medications. The only thing that they don't cover is currently I use Mounjaro, an injectable for my diabetes. They do not cover that. It's not in the VA formulary, so I still get that from CVS. And they don't cover my Ajovy, which is a once-a-month injection that I put into my leg. In fact, I have to take it tonight for my migraines. They don't cover either one of those, so I get them both still at CVS. However, once I retire and I switch over to VA healthcare entirely, they have similar medications, so I'll probably switch to using one of those, and hopefully they'll work well. It's my understanding that the VA will provide things that are not in the formulary, but first you have to prove that the other drugs that they have don't work. Hope that answers your questions. It's actually very easy. Let's see. Raider, are you in here? I haven't seen Raider, but that's okay. It's New Year's Day. People got stuff to do, family things. Plus, he's got those pups. Let's see. For overseas. I don't know how medications work for overseas. Gosh, I'm sorry. I should have seen that first. Hopefully somebody will answer up here. I saw a comment on Reddit recently. Somebody said that they get their medications overseas and that they don't have any problem with it, but I don't know. Sorry. Thank you. My son lives in Tokyo, currently at 90%, something I also have to look into further. Yes, absolutely. I take 6 different med. I get 90-day supply, $15 copay because I'm at 40% at the moment. Yeah, so the copay is inexpensive, but if you can get to 50%, everything becomes free. Per med copay, right? So, if you can get to 50%, that'll save you some money there. Happy New Year to you and everybody else. Absolutely. Have you ever thought about getting GammaCore from the VA for migraines? No, I haven't. I've heard about it. I'm really, really happy with the Ajovy that my neurologist has prescribed to me. It's a once-a-month shot, goes in my leg. I do not like that shot at all. Not because it hurts, but because it goes in there and stays in there for like 30 seconds before it, auto retracts. It's nerve-wracking, but it really, really knocks out my migraines. And I was having a lot of them. I was having migraines once a week. So I'm open to anything that works, and once I retire, and if the VA is not going to be able to provide the Ajovy for me, I'll try whatever they prescribe. We'll see. Excuse me. The real Bam Boonga. You does these digging in me. Okay. Happy New Year to you, the real Bambooga. Thanks for joining. Let me know if you have anything you need. I'm sorry I don't quite understand what you said, but, that's all right. English, it's amazing. Yeah. I still am working full time. Oh, I'm sorry, it's just a meme. Yeah, no problem, buddy. And I was actually just going to kind of say that. I still work full time, and I'm 64 years old. I'm getting ready to retire. I work in IT at a large organization. We got like 3,000 people working in IT. And most of them are much younger than I am. And they have different ways of speaking, just like I did when I was their age. So it's totally okay. I don't have to understand everything. And sometimes I ask, and sometimes I just let it go because it's okay. No problem at all. I'm not offended. Let's see. What else we got? Happy New Year salt. Yeah, I like that. A little salt shaker there. I didn't get that instantly. Happy and blessed New Year to you, family, and all veterans around the globe. Thank you, Raider HQ and the CivDiv, for all you do. Semper Fidelis. Yeah, absolutely. When I started learning about VA disability, it was only 2 years ago. I knew nothing about VA disability, and I went into it blind. I had a lot of my claims shot down because I didn't know what I was doing. Okay. But I got my learn on, and I started watching YouTube videos because why not? I'm not a good mechanic necessarily, but if I need help rebuilding my lawnmower's carburetor, I'm willing to give it a shot. So I pull up YouTube and I look for that model of carburetor, and sure enough, I'll find somebody who has rebuilt that exact model carburetor, and they'll show me exactly how to do it, and I just sit there and patiently learn, and then I go do it myself. And so I figured there have to be some videos for VA disability, and lo and behold, there were. And it was the CivDiv, and it was Combat Craig, and it was other videos like that. And I read them, I watched them all, I paid attention, replayed them over and over again, got what I needed out of them, and I moved forward from there. And I can't thank them enough. They've done the veteran community a real service. So I'm grateful to all of those guys, absolutely. Don't matter if you were IT, most folks don't understand what you say anyway. Well, that's right. Yes, you are correct. Worse yet, I am not just IT, I am a Red Hat Linux engineer. Oh boy. Let me tell you, if you're a Linux geek, you're like the worst of all geeks. I'm not proud of it, but it's been a career, so it's worked out really well for me. And you're right, nobody understands what I say. I concur, my Kindle. Are Kindles still a thing? I remember Kindles. I didn't have one, but I remember them. They're still around, right? I don't know. Do people use them? I'm amazed at difference in difficulty for a veteran that got out, say, 30 years, filing for the first time versus someone getting out of the military today. Well, you're absolutely correct, and that's actually it's a good thing in the sense that there's a lot of progress that's been made, I think. I have a young friend of mine. He was a student at my dojo from like age 7 and all the way up to 18 when he left and joined the Marine Corps. He became a military policeman just like me, and that was pretty cool. And he's done his time. He served his 4 years or 6 years or whatever it was, and he got out, and he's come back, and he's back in the dojo again. And so I get a chance to talk to him, and I've been kind of trying to help him a little bit with his VA disability claims because he got kind of messed up. He actually hurt his knees so badly in boot camp that they recycled him 2 or 3 times until he was able to get healthy enough to graduate. He graduated honor man, so I mean he did well, but yeah, he's not well in terms of physical problems. So the point of that is the military now has BDD, the benefits delivery on discharge, which is amazing when it works. It doesn't always work because a lot of commands apparently don't cooperate with the veterans to get that set up before they get out. However, if they file within a year of getting out, there's a presumption that whatever they're claiming, a strong presumption that whatever they're claiming happened while they were on active duty. So they're going to have a much easier time proving nexus than veterans like us, some of us, who have been out for 30 plus years. So yeah, they didn't tell us anything about VA disability in my time, and I'm sure most of you experienced the exact same thing, right? It was just, what is that? So it was all new. It's been an interesting journey, I'll say that. And it's much, much easier, much better for younger veterans. And I'm glad, I'm grateful for that. Is that a Cyberdyne shirt? Oh, yeah. Skynet. Just having a little fun with that. I have a Cyberdyne shirt, too. I have Yo-Yo Dyne. I have a whole bunch of fun stuff. I'm a bit of a nut. Never mind, it is, yeah. It was when I made the account. Ah, gotcha. Another video idea request. Presumption of soundness aggravation. Waiting on an HLR now. Condition needed an entrance physical but is vague. Wondering how the VA will establish a baseline. Okay, so that's a lot there that you're putting out. Presumption of soundness. Okay, yeah. So when you join the military and you get your entrance level physical, right, if it doesn't note that you had a previous condition, we can assume the VA can assume that that condition did not exist. You know, it's like, oh, well, he had both his legs when he enlisted and one's missing now. So we can presume that that happened after enlistment. I'm using a very off-the-wall explanation, but that's basically how it works, right? So when I filed for hearing loss, for example, they went back and pulled my audiology test from when I first enlisted to show that I didn't have any hearing loss. Okay, so that established a baseline. That means I did not have hearing loss prior to enlisting, so it happened sometime after I enlisted. Now, unfortunately, I was not given a hearing test when I was discharged, so there's no measurement on my way out to show whether or not I had hearing loss at that time. So it then became more difficult for me to try and prove that my hearing loss occurred while I was on active duty. I'm not sure how that's going to turn out for you, but yeah, it is kind of vague, and I don't know how the VA will establish that baseline either. One thing I would definitely suggest that you do is, since you're waiting on an HLR, if you haven't already filed a Privacy Act request for your CNP exam results, do so that you have some idea what the CNP examiner said in their DBQ and in their medical opinion. I think that's critical to helping you with your HLR, and hopefully you'll get that before you go for the HLR. Can you tell me if the VA rates chronic pain as a secondary, and how easy would it be to go from 94% VA math 90 to 100. Back is rated at 40%. How does the VA rate chronic pain as a secondary? Well, I don't know. I don't believe pain itself is a diagnostic code. Maybe I'm mistaken. Somebody help me with that. How easy is it to get from 94% VA math, 90 to 100? Well, you're right on the cusp, right? So almost anything, a 10% rating, a 10% increase in anything would get you there. So, you know, you're almost there, almost home. I would say look at all of your current disabilities. Look at your current physical condition and think about things that could be secondary to your current rated conditions. Hopefully you'll find that hopefully. We always say hopefully, like we hope you get the rating. I don't hope that there's a lot of things wrong with you. It's always kind of a weird juxtaposition, right? Congratulations, you got 100%. I'm really sorry you're so messed up. But I'm pulling for you. I hope it goes well. My issue is the DAV VSO, when I left the Marines in 96, basically told me I'd be lucky to get 10% and I shouldn't bother. So now I'm struggling with the VA to get my SGR, which took a congressional. Okay, so let's break this down. The DAV VSO told you that you would be lucky to get 10%. Yeah. You know what? I went through something almost identical. In 2024, I went down to the DAV where I'm a life member. I talked to my VSO, and he said, old people like you should not be filing claims. Yeah, so, you know, that was helpful. I ignored him. I'm glad I did, because otherwise I would never have gotten to 100%. But, so there's that. Now, as far as struggling with the VA to get your SGR. Let me know what you're talking about there. Are you talking about your service treatment record, your STR? And if that's the case, then I'm not sure what to tell you because I've seen so many different results. I got out in 1985. I filed a NARA request, NARA, National Archives, and they sent it to me, and it didn't take that long. I'm guessing it was like a month or two, but I don't actually remember. In any case, they sent it to me in one massive PDF, which was I could download, and then it had a pass key that I had to use to unencrypt it, and it had all of my service treatment record information in it. But everybody seems to be having different results depending on the branch of service they were in, when they served, all kinds of stuff. So I apologize if the information I'm telling you isn't working for you. It seems to be wildly different for different veterans. So the Too Salty and Radio HQ are helping me greatly in this field. Yeah, thank you very much. You know, just so you know, the Salty Marine, right? He has a good channel. I like watching his videos. We kind of ran across each other by accident. I don't think he intended to have a similar name to mine, Salty Old Marine, Salty Marine. But, you know, I don't have any problem with that, and he's a great guy, and he puts out great videos. So I'm certainly glad that it's helping. We cover different fields, which is, you know, kind of good, right? We're not identical. We do cover some of the same stuff. There's some overlap, but there's also a lot of variance. I had split service. When I got out in 95, the briefer said, if you're not retiring, you can go or stay and listen to the VA. Way different than when I retired this year. Now it's more, you will sit there. What are you referring to? Can you explain that a little bit more? I know what split service is. Okay, so you served in two different branches. The second time around, you got out in 95. I'm sorry. The first time you got out was in 95, and then you retired in this year. Now it's more you will sit there. Sit there like you will go visit the VA? I'm not sure. Let me know. All right. What else we got? We have 23 viewers. We have a total of 100 views. And it looks like people do drop in and drop out, which is cool. No problem at all. It's New Year's Day. I didn't expect to have anybody here. Service treatment record. VA told me they didn't have them. National Archives said they didn't have it. After the third request, they gave me an horrible, unreadable copy. Oh, man. I am very sorry to hear that. I've heard of horror stories like that. I wish I knew a better answer than that. That is terrible. Here's a suggestion. I don't know if this will work or not, but it might. You can try scanning your unreadable copy and save it as a PDF and upload it to like ChatGPT or something of that nature, an AI, and ask for help reading it. I don't know if that's going to help or not. That's about all I can think of. I will say that my STR was handwritten because that's how they were back then, right? And so it was hard to read. Mine were second or third gen copies. They were readable basically, but there were some dates that were just smudged out and I could not read them. Doctor's handwriting and things like that. I'm sorry, man. I wish I had a better answer. Chronic pain may be able to rate it due to the psychological impacts, physiological impact in your life. Okay, that sounds interesting. Your information is greatly helping. Thank you for all of your military service. God protect, bless you, and yours, Semper Fidelis. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, and thank all of you for your service. We're all veterans here. We all did the thing, right? VA entitlement briefings. Gotcha. Happy New Year, salty old Marine. Chronic pain can be rated secondary to your rated back or other pain causing injuries related to your service. Thank you, Josie. I really appreciate you adding that information because I did not know the answer to that. Bill, I believe chronic pain is related like chronic fatigue syndrome. Okay, that makes sense. And it's in the mental health area. That's my understanding. All right, good. Thanks for helping, everybody. Thanks for jumping in on that because I did not know the answer. But you need to use your raw score, not your uprated VA score, i.e. 90% raw versus 94% uprated. Yeah. So, I mean, when you're at 90%, it's really hard to get to 100%. I mean, that remaining 10%, if you get less than a 50%, it won't push you over if you're like flat at 90%. But if your actual score is 94, even though it's currently rated at 90%, then you're almost there. There's only 6% left, and anything would put you to 95 and therefore be rolled up to 100. So anything except a 0, of course. So a 10% rating should do it at that point, I believe. If I'm wrong, somebody tell me. And by the way, thanks everybody for all you've been doing. I mean, you're jumping in, you're helping each other. I don't have all the answers. I don't pretend to. And I appreciate your help. Thanks. All right, what's next? Thanks for your personal insight, Bill. Semper Fi, brother. Well, Semper Fi to you, too. Yeah, I'm just, like I said, I'm just a guy with an opinion. I'm just a veteran who's kind of went through the process and learned the rules as they applied to me. And I thought, what can I do to help other veterans? It makes me crazy that it's so hard. It's so obscured and difficult. Why? Why is it so hard? I know the answer to that. But, let's just all help each other and we'll get there together. 94, 10% will get you there. That's what I thought. Yeah. I mean, once you're in that range, right, you only have to get to 95% scheduler to be rated, to be rolled up to 100. So anything at that point will get you there. VA math is nuts, but that's my understanding of how that works. So what are your retirement vacation plans? Oh, good question. So I live in Southeast Michigan, as I've mentioned a number of times, and I don't have many living relatives left. My mother and father are gone. One of my sisters is gone. I'm not in contact with some of the others. So it's really just me and my wife. But my daughter lives in Texas, a very small town called Palestine. And I have a granddaughter. She's going to be 12 years old in June. And I haven't seen them in 5 years. So I think one of my first plans, once I retire, will be to get in the car and drive down to Texas and spend some time with my daughter and my granddaughter and my son-in-law. And hopefully, I can do that on a reasonably frequent basis. So not just once, but, a little more often than I have been. And other than that, I don't really have a whole lot of plans. That's a good question, though. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll do something. I'll tell you about the best vacation my wife and I ever took. And I know a lot of people, this isn't their ideal vacation, but for me, it was just amazing. My wife and I and a couple of our friends from Colorado had been planning to take a vacation down to New Orleans. And Hurricane Katrina happened. Okay. They were traveling, my friends were traveling from Colorado to North Carolina, where I lived at the time, and we were getting ready to drive down there. We had all our reservations, everything was set up, and Katrina hit, and everything was under a foot of water, and we canceled that and thought, okay, what are we going to do for the next week? So somebody suggested Gettysburg. Gettysburg is an amazing place where the Civil War history really comes alive. So we drove up to Pennsylvania, and we drove down through Amish country, and we stopped in Hershey and took the tour there, and we stopped at like all the different Mennonite places, and we bought quilts and, got rides in the horse-drawn carriages and all that stuff. And then we ended up down in Gettysburg, and we stayed at a bed and breakfast that was right on the battlefield. And we took the tour, saw all the monuments, learned all about the history. It was just amazing to me. So the four of us just had an absolutely wonderful time. Maybe we'll repeat that, because honestly, that was just an amazing vacation. Thanks for bringing up that. It's quite a memory to have. And yeah, thanks. Let's see, where are we at here? Anybody else? Am I missing questions? Is that it? What do you think, guys? Should we wrap up? It's almost 3 o'clock. We've been doing this for an hour. I'll stay. I don't have a problem. But looks like we're starting to quiet down a little bit. We got 24 people watching. Anybody have any questions? All right, well, beef jerky or pepperoni sticks, which one's better? Neither one for my teeth, but I'll tell you I prefer beef jerky. Time to field day of the house. Take care. Thanks for everybody. Thanks for everything. Yeah, Salty. Thank you all. Thanks, everybody. This is, without people watching, I'm just, a guy with a camera staring out into the void, so... Thank you for interacting. Thanks for being part of the channel. Thank you for being part of the community. And I do think of this as a community. I got to tell you this. I'm going to say this before we close. I read all of the comments on the videos, and I am so gratified to see veterans helping each other. just like you did today, jumping in and assisting each other in polite and constructive ways. Because that is so much what I wanted to see, not bickering and fighting and hating on each other and my way or the highway and all that stuff I see on some of the other YouTube videos, not the veteran ones, thankfully, but other YouTube channels in general. They seem to attract a lot of people who are just angry at the world and angry at themselves and want to lash out. And that doesn't really happen here. It just doesn't. And I couldn't be more grateful to you for watching, for being subscribers, for contributing what you know, and helping other veterans. Thanks so much for that. Okay, I got on light. Leave it to us, Army guys. Yeah, that's okay, bud. No problem at all. I'm glad you're here. 90 trying to get to 100. Okay, yeah, so if you're at 90 trying to get to 100, you've got a lot of work ahead of you. If your scheduler is 90% exactly and not 94%, then you still got 10% left. And 10%, if you got a 50% rating at this point, that would be enough to push you over. But a 30% would not, which is frustrating, right? It's terrible, but that's VA math for you. So it's not going to be easy, but it's doable for most of us. Or many of us, I should say. You need to look at your current ratings, make sure that they're all up to date. If your situation has gotten worse on any of your rated conditions, you might want to think about, filing for an increase. You really want to look at secondaries. So especially if you've got something that causes something else, like if you've got bad knees that can cause bad ankles, and you're rated for the knees, start looking at the ankles. If you're rated for PTSD, start looking at secondaries. In my case, migraines, obstructive sleep apnea, GERD, and IBS all came as secondary to PTSD. So, look at those things, start digging into them and see what you can do to get yourself to 100%. I'm for you, man. I want to help. Let me know. Let's see. If you get back to PA, you need to check out Falling Water at Flank. Yes, absolutely. Frank Lloyd Wright House built on a creek. We did not see that, and I would love to see that. So thanks for mentioning that. Appreciate your content and channel. Hi, Bill. How are you? I'm doing great. Thanks so much for asking. It's a good day, and things are going well. I appreciate your asking. Building up evidence and secondary conditions. Yep, absolutely. Plan to file increase, knees and back. There you go. So, get your evidence in order, right? Make sure that you understand the 38 CFR to see how it will be rated for the next higher condition. Go back and check your original claim letter, your decision letter rather, and make sure that you read the part where it says why you got the rating you got and why you didn't get the next higher rating, because that's exactly what they're going to want to see to get the higher rating, right? So if things have gotten worse, then that's what that's for. That's what filing for an increase is all about. Just make sure you got your ducks in a row, and best of luck to you there. And see the doctor, make sure you've got all that information in hand. All right, my friends, we are right at 1 hour, and I think I'm gonna halt it here. I'm going to be making a bunch of videos. I've got 4 days off. Yay! And I'll be making a bunch of videos and editing them and uploading them so that we'll have things to watch for the next month or so. I'm open to your suggestions. Leave comments. Tell me what you want to see. If it's something that I think all of us would benefit from, I'll do the research. I'll make the video. I'll upload it, and we'll do the thing, right? So let's see. Oh my gosh. Mickey Mishra. Wow. Thank you so much. You did not have to do that, but I appreciate that gift. That's going to help the channel. Thank you again. Bill, do you just feel tired with the process from your point? Afraid to file? I've been doing this for 3 years, been out for 29 years, finally got 20%. Yeah, absolutely. But to be honest, I took it as a challenge. It was hard. I started out with 10% for tinnitus, 0% for hearing, and I was like, everything else I applied for got denied, right? And I was like, what am I doing wrong here? But I just backed up, took it logically, watched the YouTube videos, made notes, read the 38 CFR, and I used ChatGPT, by the way. I asked ChatGPT, would this be a good claim? And if I did make it, what do I need to prove? What evidence do I need to prove? And it was very helpful to me. So That's just a thought. Yeah, I got frustrated. Yeah, I got tired. But what drove me on was not even the thought of getting to 100% so that I could have, all the money. Granted, that check every month is very nice. Don't get me wrong there. But it was more about continuity for my family. So, like a lot of you, I have some medical conditions. One or more of them is likely to be the death of me, and it may not be that long from now. I'm just being realistic here. I'm not saying pity me, woe is me, or anything like that. I'm saying, I'm sick like a lot of us older veterans, and, I could go. And I need my wife to be taken care of. I need to make sure that she will be able to get things like CHAMP VA, DIC, and other benefits that can only be established when a veteran dies at 100% and of a rated condition, unless they've been rated at 100% for at least 10 years. So these things drive me on. And if it wasn't for that, I might very well have just stopped at a lower rating and said, yeah, there's still a lot wrong with me, but it's not worth the effort anymore. But I took it as a challenge. It was a puzzle to be solved, and eventually I got through it. I hope you do too. Or at least if you decide that 100% is not your goal, that's absolutely totally cool. Just make sure that you feel you've been properly rated and properly treated by the system. And if you're good with that, then cool, man. No problem at all. All right, digging that Skynet shirt. Thank you very much. I do like my t-shirts. I'll try and wear a different shirt each time so people have something fun to look at besides my ugly mug. All right. You could do a video on Survivor. I don't know if a lot of people know about that. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I kind of did one if you dig back through my videos, but my videos, I hope, get better with time. The new ones that I make. So I'll remake that video. I'll make some more videos about Survivor's benefits and why at 100% a lot of things kick in that a lot of veterans need to know about if they're planning for continuity for their family and taking care of their dependents and their spouse after they're gone. I'm not even 100% vet, but I feel I should be a 50 or 70%. Yeah, so, figure out those conditions, make a list, start going through it, get it done, man. Survivor benefits. Yeah, exactly. I know what you're talking about. DIC, the dependency indemnification, that's money that your spouse would continue to get after you die if you get to 100%. Normally when you die, when you pass on, your benefits just stop, right? That's the end of it. Your wife or your husband, if you're a female veteran, gets nothing, zero. But if you are at 100% P&T for at least 10 years, and then you pass away, your spouse can get indemnity. That's a smaller amount than the full 100%, but it's something, right? And they can keep getting CHAMP VA and assistance with that, education benefits and that kind of stuff. If you don't make it 10 years past your 100% P&T, then you have to die of a condition that you are currently rated for. Otherwise, your spouse is stuck trying to deal with the legal system of claiming things after you pass, which can be done, but do you really want to put that on your spouse, especially when they're grieving and just finished burying you? So, kind of a grim topic. Sorry. We'll take another run at that. We'll make a special video just about it, and I hope that that is helpful to some of you. Okay. Hydronitis suppurativa got denied. HLR denied now. Doing a supplemental, do you think I have a chance? Yes, depending on what you're applying, how you're applying for HS, right? So just an aside, I have HS myself. It's not fun, and I know what it is. It is something that can be rated. I could have claimed it and probably would have if I had not already gotten to 100%. So it's just one of those things that I have, and it's probably related to my service, but it's not a service-connected condition for me. Now, HS is absolutely 100% caused by stress. So if you're claiming it as secondary to PTSD, I do think you have a chance. I suspect you're going to need a nexus letter in order to make that connection, because I don't think a CNP examiner is going to do it for you. So with a supplemental, my recommendation would be absolutely a nexus letter. And if you need a recommendation for someone who can help you with a nexus letter, I can give you that for psychological conditions. Now, if you're claiming that your HS occurred in service, that's a whole different story. Excuse me. Okay. I never met an angry veteran who was properly rated. Clay. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Salty, what's up? Yeah, what's up, bud? Too true. Why would HLR still deny after finding it in my service treatment record? Okay, so you're claiming STR, you're claiming hidradenitis suppurativa was diagnosed while you were on active duty, and therefore it's in your service treatment record, and you're asking why the HLR would deny it. You're going to need file a Freedom of Information Act request, a Privacy Act request, in order to find out what that HLR says, okay? You need to see it. You're going to want to file it for your CNP exam that originally denied you and for the HLR. So get online, file those requests, ask for only the CNP exam and then only the HLR, nothing else, right? That way it won't take a year to get a result. Read it very carefully. They will tell you why they did not approve it. And that's the only way you're going to be able to proceed, in my opinion. You need to know what they said, what they thought, and they'll write it down, and they don't share it with you. So you got to request it, read it, and then you can proceed based on that. Why would they deny it when they found it in the STR? I don't know. Wish I knew the answer to that one. I'm sorry. Hello, all. Hello, green light. Excuse me. Got the sniffles. My bad. All right. Well, believe it or not, I think we're going to wrap it up. I got a bunch of questions in at the last minute, but I think we're all done here for now. We'll do these again. They seem to be something people like, and I'm glad. Again, let us know what videos you want to see, what conditions you want to talk about. I'm happy to share anything I know, and if I don't know, I'll do the research, find out, and we'll talk about it. And if you know and I don't, correct me. So that's all I got, my friends. Happy New Year to all of you. I hope 2026 is a fantastic year full of love and joy and peace and good health. And yeah, that's what I got. So what do I say here? Please like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, leave a comment. What do we got here? Why? SMCT videos. Okay. Yeah, we're going to do videos about all the SMC conditions, although it'll be a series of videos because these things are deep, right? So supplemental conditions, supplemental ratings above 100%. Wow, there's a whole new world there. And so I've got a list of them. I've been doing the research. I will be doing the videos about them. Thanks very much for that suggestion. Thank you, Salty. Happy New Year. See ya. Semper Fi. 38 CFR, new evidence. Okay, great. Yes, absolutely. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, everybody. Have a happy New Year. Take care. This is Bill, Salty Old Marine. Talk to you soon.